Ambassador, welcome to the Romanian television and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, and I would be remiss if I didn't start with congratulations to TVR on its 70th anniversary.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And to think of all that this network has seen over the years is just incredible.
You've recently marked 100 days since you've started your term here in Romania.
Yes.
Not the calmest day, politically speaking. What are your first impressions about the country during this time?
So allow me to start by saying what an honor it is to be President Trump's personal representative to this remarkable country, and how gratified I am by he and Secretary Rubio entrusting me with the responsibility of carrying out the America First foreign policy here. Now, I was very excited when the President asked me to come to Romania. My grandparents, with whom I was very fortunate to grow up, emigrated to America over a century ago from Eastern Europe. They brought with them their values, the values of Eastern Europe: faith, family, hard work ethic, and a strong respect and pride in their heritage. Then in 1989, I was on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee staff when the revolution occurred here, having a front row seat what was going on. And so to come now brought it full circle. My wife Lori and I had almost a year to prepare to come here. And we talked to everyone we could, tried as hard as we could to prepare to come, and we came with very high expectations. After only 100 days, our expectations have been far exceeded. We have found Romanians to be warm, friendly, welcoming, great pride in their heritage, and there's an energy here in the population.
We are having this talk on the eve of the celebration you will host in Bucharest for the 250 years of independence of the United States. That must be a very important milestone for every American. How will it be marked here? Anything special you've planned for the Friends of the United States in Romania?
Well, this is the biggest celebration of America in my lifetime. And President Trump is leading the way. He very much enjoys talking about the American story. And the American story is one that's remarkable. To start with, it was groundbreaking. America is the first country, first nation to be built, not of common heritage, but of shared ideals. The achievements it's had over the centuries has been remarkable, and the ideals it represents has been shared with and inspires people around the globe. Our celebration this year is going to be our biggest ever. We just did a walkthrough before I came here. It's going to be great. We are very excited that President Don and Prime Minister Bolojan will be joining us for the event. So we expect it to be great, and we're proud to be in a position where we can share the celebration with the Romanian people.
At your hearing in the Senate, you said that the partnership with Romania has never been more important to the United States. And may I say, it was a rather surprising statement for many here in Bucharest, because at that time came when the Trump administration was very critical towards Romania after the elections were cancelled in 2024. What was your assessment based on at that time?
Well, if you look at the very strong ties we have between our countries, first and foremost is the security standpoint, is that Romania is a leader in NATO on the eastern flank. We have a strong U.S. presence here, strong U.S. deterrence. Second is that the investments and economic activity between the United States and Romania is stronger than it's ever been and is an area of great potential. We have over 1,000 U.S. companies are invested here. There are opportunities that are on the horizon, opportunities that create jobs here in Romania and also in the United States. And the people-to-people ties are very strong as well.
One of President Dan's main objectives on foreign policy was a meeting with President Trump at the White House. It was actually intended for the first half of this year, at least that's what we were told from the presidency. We are at the end of June. Is it this visit still in the works? What's the new timeline?
So there have been engagements between our leaders since the beginning of the year. President Don was in the United States for the Board of Peace, which was very much appreciated by our President and our Secretary of State. First Lady was in the United States at the White House for our First Ladies Summit. We have continually had high-level visitors coming to visit Romania. Just yesterday and today, we're hosting the head of development, head of investments for the Development Finance Corporation, looking for opportunities here in Romania. And we expect high-level visits to continue. We just had a congressional delegation this past Friday down at MK Air Base. What's important to remember about the relationship is something which your defense minister had mentioned, is that we do not measure relationships by a piece of paper or by a meeting. Relationships are measured by the day-to-day engagement between partners, which has never been more robust, never stronger, and never more important.
This political crisis that is prolonging in Romania has any impact on the partnership with the United States? What's your assessment on what has happened this last month here in Bucharest?
So, democracy can be messy. To some extent, democracies are designed to be messy, but they are by far the best system. This forming of a government is something for Romanians to work out among themselves, and we have faith in Romania's democratic institutions to resolve them. But no matter how it's resolved, the relationship with the United States will remain strong and continue to get stronger.
I'm sure that you are aware of the fact that during the elections and even after them, a top issue was who is the Trump administration privileged dialogue partner in Romania. I mean, Romanian politicians often compete for the title of who is Donald Trump's favorite. Is there any point? Is there a competition? Is there any point in all of this?
Well, I appreciate it, and that's a mark of how strong the relationship is. And as I mentioned, we have great faith in the Romanian people, great faith in your democratic institutions, and great faith that the Romanian people should have the right, without the United States being engaged, to establish their government.
Traditionally, there are two key points in this strategic partnership. You've mentioned them also in your hearing in the Senate,
yes.
Security and energy.
Yes.
Now, on the matter of security, there were a couple of very serious incidents since your arrival in Romania. I'm talking about the drones in Galați and the one in
yes.
port of Constanța. Are these type of incidents on the Black Sea worrying the United States? I'm asking with two premises in mind. There are American troops and military equipments based in MK, very close to Constanța. And two, Romania consider this partnership with the United States one of the essential pillars for our security. How do you see the current security challenges here?
Well, thank you for that question. And I can understand how emotional it must be with these drone incursions into Romania's sovereign territory. I will note that Ambassador Whitaker has, on a number of occasions, and certainly after the most recent incursion, indicated that the United States' support of NATO, of Article 5, are lock sure, and that under those agreements, the United States and NATO will defend every inch of NATO territory. I was just last week, as I mentioned, down at MK Air Base. It is a fabulous facility, but what's really intriguing is how it's going to be expanded to be the largest base in all of NATO. What was also remarkable was to see American and Romanian troops standing side by side, working together, supporting NATO's mission here on the eastern flank.
Could the U.S. consider sending more troops to Romania or on the eastern flank, as some of the countries already asked?
Mm-hmm. So the important thing to remember about deterrence is that it's not the number of boots on the ground, it's the capabilities. And the capabilities remain strong and will continue to be strong. We also take note and very much appreciate the steps being taken by Romania to provide for its own defense. It's meeting its goal of 2.5% of its GDP for its own defense, but also its support for raising that to 5% by 2030. Also appreciate the other things Romania is doing to uphold the deterrence and defensive posture here in the eastern flank as a leader. Whether it's the F-16 training, which we've seen they've been training Ukrainian pilots, the air patrolling, also the hosting of American servicemen, not only at MK, but at other bases around the country.
Now, about energy. You
Yes.
said to American senators that Romania has the potential to be a key player when it comes to energy and critical mineral resources.
Yes.
How much of this potential is fulfilled right now, and what needs to be done further?
Well, this is very, very exciting because, as President Trump has pointed out, energy is essential for economic growth. And Romania has the potential to be a game changer in Eastern Europe and in reducing dependence on Russian energy in a number of ways. First of all, you've got the Neptune Deep platform in the Black Sea, which should start delivering significant gas supplies early next year. In addition, you have very strong hydropower, strong renewable presence, but you also have great opportunities in nuclear and also in the transport of gas. In nuclear, we're looking at a few things. Romania is a leader in the region, a leader in Europe in civilian nuclear. There's refurbishment of the reactor number 1 at Chernovoda, and also firm plans and proceedings to build reactors at number 3 and number 4 at Chernovoda.
About nuclear, is
Yes.
the project of Doicești,
Yes.
the small modular reactor technology,
Yes.
is this still a priority for the United States? Because we know Prime Minister Bolojan said he notified you that the costs are too big and the project has some problems, so it might not be continued.
Yes. So we are very excited about SMR and SMR technology. It's the wave of the future for nuclear energy and energy production that's carbon free. So that with respect to the project here in Romania, is that it is a sovereign decision of the Romanian government which vendor, which technology they're going to use, provided that under our intergovernmental agreement, it's done with an American firm. So again, this is a sovereign decision. Romania, we're looking forward to proceeding with it, and the United States is supporting it.
What about the critical mineral resources? That's a topic that President Trump, I know, is very interested in, and Romania has something to offer.
Yeah. So we are very excited about Romania and critical minerals. Is that having a secure supply chain of critical minerals is absolutely essential for powering the modern economy. One of the first things I did as an ambassador was attend the Critical Minerals Ministerial in Washington, D.C. It was one of my first days as an ambassador, and I had the opportunity to meet with Foreign Minister Tsoyu, who played a significant role in that ministerial. So we're looking forward to together identifying Romania's resources and finding ways to extract and refine so it could be used to help create secure supply chains.
On the political side,
Yes.
not getting admitted to visa waiver was a big disappointment for many Romanians. It's one of the oldest objectives, and it felt like we were denied despite our efforts. Is there any timeline, any hope for reopening the issue?
Well, I appreciate the question. I'm glad you asked it, because the decision on the visa waiver program was not about Romania. It was part of a global review to determine what is meeting statutory requirements. I will note that our embassy, our windows are open for Romanians to come obtain visas, and we welcome Romanians to come to the United States, provided they meet the requirements of our statutory laws. I will point out that those windows are busy. Their interest in coming to the United States is strong. A couple of data points is we have the work travel program that Romanian students have been participating in. This year we have the largest number of Romanians participating in the program, and the largest number in Europe is coming out of Romania. And this is a very important program because it's the kind of program that builds long-term people-to-people ties. We've had events, and we had one recently at the embassy at which the alumni come back, and their ability to visit our country, work there, and see the country for what it is just essential for creating those long-term ties between our peoples.
The NATO summit is approaching, and at the last B9 summit here in Bucharest, we had a representative from the United States also present. The leaders talked about a NATO 3.0 with a stronger Europe. What does that mean for the United States? You are aware that there are lots of European voices that fear that America will no longer be as present as it was in Europe's security when we have a war in Europe for almost 5 years.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that question as well. So if we're looking at the long-term security of Europe and the long-term viability of NATO, it's important that NATO countries provide the basis for their own defense, with the United States being a supporting partner in that. And I want to point out that Romania is a leader in moving that way, is that Romania was one of the countries that last year pushed for that 5%. And so we see this as essential for providing for the long-term security of Europe.
Politics is a big issue in Romania, but so is football. We have a saying here that everyone is an expert on both. So my last question, even though we didn't make it to the World Cup, is about the World Cup hosted by the United States. Are you watching the games? I don't know how, if the Americans are as mad about football as the Europeans. And how far do you think the United States team will go?
So, the World Cup fever has overtaken the United States. The excitement about the games is infectious. And a couple of things that come with that. First, it's been a treat for the United States to see the reactions of people, largely from Europe, but also from other places in the world, coming to see America and seeing what our country is about, going beyond the major cities to some of our more rural and other areas, but also attending the games. And it's been enjoyable for us to see their reaction to our country. We expect 10 million visitors to come to the United States for the World Cup. So it's a big deal back home. It's grabbing people's attention. I know people here, we have to stay up late to watch the games, but there's a lot of attention to it in the United States. And in terms of the United States, where we're headed, we have a great team. And I can tell you who's going to be the second best team in the World Cup, and that's going to be the team that plays the United States in the finals.
You are very optimistic. The World Cup is very competitive. I hope that happens. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for this
Appreciate it.
interview, and happy Independence Day on
Thank you
the
very much.
250th anniversary.
Appreciate it. We very much appreciate the warm wishes and the partnership.
Thank you.
Thank you.